Today, I've got a fantastic guest. She's been a member of Make It British for a very long time, and her business is really special. So it's Sarah Turner from Little Beau Sheep, and she's going to talk to us all about the importance of wool. So let me bring Sarah on. Hi,
Hello.
Sarah. How are
Hi
you?
there. Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Those are very cuddly sheep you've got in the background there.
Thank you.
They're not real though, are they?
No, they are not. It is just an image.
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much for joining me. So, for those that don't know, tell them all about Little Beau Sheep. What is it that you make, and how did the idea for your business come about?
So, Little Beau Sheep is the home of sheep inspired laundry care made with British wool and lanolin. So, we hand make felted soaps and wool laundry dryer balls. So, I'll show you a felted soap. It's a
Oh,
wool wrapped bar of lanolin soap, and you use it with the wool on. It lathers through like having a built in flannel, lasts for absolutely ages and replaces loads of plastic bottles in the shower. And then we also have the wool laundry dryer balls, made of British wool, and we use the right wool from the right breed of sheep. And they bounce around in your tumble dryer. They separate the layers of laundry so that air can circulate, and they naturally soften. So it replaces the need for dryer sheets and fabric softeners. Now, the idea for this one in particular came about when we moved our young family into a top floor flat, and we had absolutely no drying space inside or outside. And the tumble dryer was just on all of the time, and I was feeling really bad about the environmental impacts. So I invested in plastic spiky dry balls to speed up the process, but unfortunately the noise was unbearable, and that's when I found out you could make them out of wool, which not only are quieter but are also much better for the environment.
and I've got a set, and I absolutely love them, and they last forever because I think I've had my set a few years now. Plus,
Yeah,
they're
they will
super
last for
cute.
years. Yeah, and you can scent them as well with different fragrances, and then the heat from the dryer diffuses that scent around your laundry as well.
So it's such an unusual product, and it's such a kind of groundbreaking product because you've replaced plastic with a much more natural product. Were you a wool felter yourself when you started the business? So maybe tell everyone how they're actually made, because if
Yeah.
you don't know about wool felting, you might not quite understand the kind of the artisanal process that goes into it.
So I've always been someone who likes crafting and doing things with my hands. And so when I came across needle felting, I just really enjoyed it. So basically you get a barbed needle and you stab it, and what it does is it effectively like sews the fibers to itself, because it's got this barb in it. It pulls the fibers in and back out, so it basically mats it to itself. You can do the same thing like in a wet felting process, and that's why you can shrink wool jumpers, because you're effectively felting them to itself. So this is solid wool, and that is all just fused together. So there's nothing to unravel because it is just solid wool.
They're brilliant.
It's
So
very therapeutic actually. So it's a
yeah.
bit, like when you're stabbing it, you can take your frustrations out from the day.
Brilliant. I mean, you started making them yourself. How long does each one take to make? And what did you do once the business started growing? You can't be sitting
Yes.
there all day stabbing at wool.
No, so I used to do it mostly once the kids had gone to bed, and then we used to do little post office runs, like when they were up, and combine it with the trip for a baby chino. Um, but I very quickly started not just sitting down and making one ball in its entirety. So I would like make a batch of the balls and then design the face and that kind of thing, and break it down into the component parts.
Yeah, and do you have someone else helping you make them as well now
Yes, we
as the
do
business
now.
has
Yeah,
grown? Yeah,
yeah. So, because like I
exactly.
said, it literally started out being made to order on Etsy. So when the order would come in, I'd make it and send it off. And then sort of as awareness spread and demand grew, we needed to grow the team. And we've actually moved. Where we are now is in the old Wool Secretariat building in Ilkley, where all the wool used to come. So it feels very apt for what we're doing. And so we now have 2 full-time employees and a whole bunch of other fabulous felters that help out.
Brilliant, love it. And they're all British wool as well, aren't they? So you're based in Yorkshire. You're at
Hmm.
an original wool building from the wool industry, and you use British wool. Do you want to tell a little bit to people about what the benefits are of using British wool, and a little bit more about the British wool industry?
Yeah, sure. So obviously, a lot of it is still based in and around Yorkshire, as I soon found out. But British wool has some of the highest animal welfare standards. We practice low intensity farming compared to other sheep producing nations. And sheep also help maintain our countryside and improve our soil quality. So there are a lot of benefits from the British sheep, wool and sheep industry, as well as supporting our local farmers. Also, just from a really simple point of view, you are reducing the air miles and carbon footprint by using something that is produced in this country and then sort of made in this country as well. We've actually always used British wool from the beginning, but last year we became a British wool licensee, which means that we can display the shepherd's crook of British wool on our products so that at a glance a customer can see that it's verified from British wool.
Brilliant. And do you get involved in things like Wool Week? I think it's Wool Month now, isn't it? And
It
other
is,
kind of
yeah.
woolly events.
Yes, so I went to the launch event at Salts Mill this year, but it was also a particularly special wool month for me because I joined the Worshipful Company of Woolmen during Wool Month, which means I can now drive my sheep over London Bridge, amongst other things.
Yes, of course you can. So you're a liveryman then of the City of London.
I am, yes.
Yeah.
And it's one of the oldest livery companies, which used to oversee wool standards in the industry, basically. But the environmental credentials of wool are still as relevant today as they were in like the 12th century. And the charitable trust supports research into wool-related products, such as the Wool Innovation Prize that I won myself in 2019.
Amazing. What was your background before, actually? Were you in something wool related before you set up the business?
No, I was a digital marketing manager for HSB and First Direct.
Ah, that's why you're so good at marketing as well. Yeah, that's brilliant. That makes total sense.
Slight
So,
career change.
but then with your marketing hat on, then what can we do to raise the profile of British wool in particular, particularly at the moment when people are talking about lots of kind of sustainable and vegan materials, when
Yeah.
actually there's so many amazing properties of our own wool.
Absolutely. And, I didn't mention before, but like shearing is actually part of animal welfare for the sheep. And so it's a natural byproduct that's sustainable, biodegradable, hypoallergenic, antibacterial. It's strong. It actually provides UV protection. There's so many benefits of this amazing material. So that is definitely something that I've tried to educate people on through various blog posts and talks and things that I've done. So there's that piece. And there's also various ways that wool can also replace a lot of the plastic that we're using. Because one of my objections with some of the vegan stuff is that, it's using plastic and it isn't actually as natural in some respects, especially, when it comes to replacing wool. If you think about wool clothing, a lot of that is actually plastic and people just don't realise.
Yeah, that's so true, and it's such a wonderful product. I mean, especially at a time at the moment where everyone's trying to cut down on their energy bills and
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily want the tumble dryer. Have you ever done kind of tests on how much it cuts down the drying time if you're using one of your balls?
Well, only sort of anecdotally from my own use. I really like using TikTok, and so we've done a few little how to save money on your laundry TikToks, just like simple things like using the tumble dryer back to back, so you're reusing the heat, turning your washing machine down, obviously using wool dryer balls as a hack. So there are various things that you can do to save a bit, every penny in this current sort of crisis point. So
Love it.
yeah.
Your TikTok is fab, actually. Just tell everyone where they can find you on TikTok, because I think at the moment there's a lot of brands that we know who are like, oh, should I be on TikTok or shouldn't I? They should just go for it, shouldn't they? Because your
Yeah,
TikTok, does
definitely.
it
It's
take you
so
long
it
to do?
is So much fun. Well, it varies. It does vary, but we got into it as a family during lockdown. It was sort of an activity for the kids. Kids and I did. We had a little family account then, and it seemed obvious to, get the sheep involved at some point.
Brilliant. And do you think that brings you brings you customers basically at the end of the day?
Well, yeah, because people discover you through the For You page. So yeah, it's definitely an up and coming channel with a slightly younger demographic as well. So, you've got to stay relevant to the different audiences.
Yeah, but maybe for you that's a good thing, because if the younger demographic are living in flats or going to the laundrette and using tumble dryers because they haven't got the space to hang stuff up outside, then that's a good audience for you. And they
Absolutely,
are really cute, your TikToks, because you've got a cute product. I mean, that is the benefit of having a product that just looks so damn cute. Every time I look on your website, I'm like, oh, they're just fab. Have you ever thought about other products that you might add in to the range?
Yeah, so we're always sort of trying to add to the flock. So there is going to be a new organic range coming out next year. I'm always looking to partner with different people to collaborate with, because we usually do a limited edition to raise funds for the Rare Breed Survival Trust and their work sustaining our native breeds, because there are so many. We've got quite a big variety of native breeds in this country, and they just need our help. And yeah, I'm building on like the wool care, so products to look after your wool clothes, to be able to wash them and reanalyze them and that kind of thing, all in sustainable plastic-free packaging.
Yeah, because I kind of think of you as being the laundry brand, like the British made. You are a laundry brand. You almost created your own little niche.
Yeah.
Do you wholesale your products as well?
Yeah. So you can find us in the likes of T-Bay and Gloucester services, and in the gift section of booths.
Brilliant. Okay, because Christmas, I would imagine, is a big time for you. A very giftable product.
It is, yeah. We're very busy at this time of year, and we're currently giving people a lot of different gift ideas through our emails and our social media channels. But we're going for the go green for Black Friday, both in terms of the sustainability of what you're gifting, but also sort of as taking a stand against Black Friday and the over commercialization as well.
Yeah, I love it. Go green for Black Friday. That's. I don't think I know any British brands that are doing a Black Friday discounting this year. I think everyone's now seen it for what it is and is coming up with other innovative ways. So I love that. So how can people get onto your newsletter list and find out more about you, Sarah?
There is a sign up button at the bottom of the homepage on our website, which is littlebeausheep.com. Or you can follow us on the social media channels at Little Beau Sheep. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Beau_sheep.
Brilliant. And you've done a fantastic, I think you briefly mentioned it before and you kind of didn't say how amazing it was, that your TED talk that you've done on the benefits of wool versus plastic, haven't you? And we were talking a little bit more before we started recording about how slick your presentation was for a TED talk. What advice would you give to anyone who's thinking, I'd love to be able to do a TED talk?
Well, I would say go for it. There's a lot of work involved before you get to those sort of however many minutes on the actual stage, but it is well worth it. I absolutely loved doing it.
You've had thousands of views on it as well, haven't you, on YouTube?
Yes.
Remind everyone the title, and I'll put the link as well so that people
it's
can
called
find it.
A Magical Material. And without spoiling it is about wool. So if you want to see my woolly knickers, follow the link.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, fantastic. Sarah, you've been such a fantastic guest on the show today. Is there anything else you want to tell everyone about wool or about your products before we go?
Well, I'll go and watch the TED Talk, because that will explain everything far better than I'll be able to articulate it right now. But I think this Christmas, it's really important to support our local small businesses, our local economies, ones that are driving demand for the things that are British. And yeah, go green this Black Friday. Don't get sucked in.
Oh, brilliant, Sarah. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for joining me today.
A pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.